Hi, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 11th, 2024 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. It helps this channel out tremendously. So, thank you so very much for doing so. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. We have the Six of Cups reversed. We have the Five of Swords reversed, which is very interesting. Angels and spirit guides. We have the Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Chariot, which is strong Cancer energy. And we have the Five of Cups in the upright position. All right. So the repeat of the number 5, beginning and ending with the number 5, shows that this is a time of freedom. But this is a time where we're looking at freedom differently. We're looking at ourselves differently. The King of Swords reversed is saying, listen, you can get too much in your own head. So just be mindful about this. Overthinking, overanalyzing, kind of being a little bit too much for yourself. So just be aware of this. This is also air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You can be having one of those signs or a person with a lot of that energy in their chart coming forward and some way or another making your path just a little bit more difficult, a little bit more chaotic. So being aware of that is going to be super important here. The Six of Cups reverse, the past is coming in very, very powerfully. So that's something to be mindful of during this time, that we can be looking at things and being like, oh, it was better once upon a time, or I wish it was more like this or like that, or trying to recreate something that spirit is saying like that time has passed. So let's stand in the now. That's going to be very important here. With the Five of Cups in the upright position, there is very much a sense of change your mind, change your life. We're learning to look at things differently. We will have a tendency during this time to be a little bit pessimistic, a little bit nihilistic even to ourselves. So just be aware of this, especially with the King of Swords reverse. That can come through very strongly, overthinking, overanalyzing, but it's very much that adage of crying over spilt milk. It's not crying over spilt milk. It's looking at what has fallen, what has failed, what hasn't gone, kind of the way that we had thought, and very much being overwhelmed by it. So be mindful about that. The Chariot in the upright position. Now, if you're born on the cusp with Cancer, or if you have strong Cancer in your chart or in your life, these people are going to come out, or this part of your personality is going to come out very, very powerfully. There's a determination, there's a focus, but also know Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the moon's energy is coming forward very powerfully here for us, Leo. So being aware of that is going to be a game changer for us, and it's also going to be super insightful. So let's see what Spirit has to say. And if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a snowflake in the comment box below. A person will be chosen at random and announced on the 1st of February. So good luck to everyone. And don't be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me, saying congratulations, it will not be me. And if you're interested in purchasing a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. So let's see. Oh, here we have 2 that fell out. We have nature and we have serenity. So Spirit is saying, hey, listen, work on your serenity, work on your peace, work on your calm during this time. That's going to be really important to us. What brings you calm? What brings you peace? Other people might say, oh, that's boring, or that's not peaceful at all. But if you find it peaceful, that's where you have to go. You have to go with your energy. And then it brings us to nature. And it's really embracing here our nature, what we desire, what we want. It's also getting out in nature, touching earth is going to be very important for us, or getting outside, smelling the fresh air. That's also going to be a big thing. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere and right now it's winter, and if you live in one of the dark, cold places like I do, getting a lux light, or I think that's what they called, with the ones that emulate daytime light, that can be very beneficial and really good for the mood. I find that it's way better than I thought it was going to be. My sleep score has gone up tremendously since using it, and that is really quite beautiful. So that can be something also that can be done during this time to really connect with nature, even if nature is like getting dark on us and making us a little bit sad. So let's see what our chakra energy is. Here we have abundance reverse. Now, this is our root chakra. So this is at the root of us. Spirit is saying, hey, listen, embrace your abundance, embrace your prosperity, embrace, your success. Reverse, we can be looking at things and saying, but it doesn't look like XYZ. It doesn't have to. We're talking about you here. We're not talking about everybody else. We all tend to want to fit a certain mold. or a certain way. Now, I do know people love to stand out and to be different, but we want to be seen as successful in whomever's eyes. But here, looking at our abundance and looking at what makes us prosperous is really saying, how do I settle into me and bring my most authentic self forward? Now, I understand also that authenticity gets thrown around a lot and it's a buzzword right now. But saying our authenticity is important is really saying I have to go with what aligns with me, with what vibrates energetically true for me in this moment, in this space, in this time. And, if I don't, that's okay. We always have tomorrow and we always have the next minute to kind of get it right. But here with abundance, it's looking at what is our abundance, what is our power, what is our prosperity, and knowing that it's reversed here. So we have a blockage around our root chakra, grounding ourselves, rooting ourselves, connecting ourselves with the earth, tapping your tailbone with an open fist, kind of like this, just tapping your tailbone for 2 minutes can be so good, so good. Energetically with Qigong. I have Spring Forest Qigong listed in the description box below if you want to check that out. But here, just to ground ourselves, just to open up that energy blockage can be fantastic for us. Our energy to be mindful of during this time: angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. This is rebirth. So, what's interesting when spirit is like, hey, be mindful of being reborn, is that this energy can kind of throw us off. We could think, oh, we're chugging along like Thomas the Train Engine, right? In one certain way. And then we're going to see something coming along that takes us down a different path or has us looking at things in a different way. We're going to be reborn during this time, and it's not going to be what we planned for. And just knowing, okay, listen, I'm connecting with this energy, I'm connecting with me, I'm stepping forward in a way that's really positive and powerful. That's going to be the game changer. And that's going to be really important, that there's this change coming into our lives. We don't have to fight it. We don't have to, rally against it. We can see it's like letting the waves wash over us, letting ourselves connect in a really deep, really authentic way for us. Again, there's that word authentic coming forward. Now, this new moon is in Capricorn. It's at 20 degrees, 44 minutes of Capricorn, with the sun and the moon are at 20 degrees, 44 minutes of Capricorn with a new moon. Now, Leo, we are ruled by the sun. So the sun's reflected light off the moon is what we have with, or lack of it, with the new moon, right? And so the sun, not the sun, but the moon and us, we have a very interesting relationship. It's a very powerful relationship. It's one that can easily be overlooked because we're ruled by the sun. The sun is the powerhouse that guides us forward. With this moon, we have Mars out of bounds till the 23rd of January. So just be mindful about this. Everybody has to be mindful about this. We are going to have more extreme emotions coming to play during this time up until the 23rd. So again, being aware of this, we have our emotions pretty well in check during this time with the Chariot coming forward, but also with the King of Swords, we can be a little bit sharp-tongued. We can be very exacting. We can want things to be done a very precise, very specific way. So we do have to be mindful about this during this time. On the 11th of January as well, we have the dwarf planet Eris moving stationary direct at 24 degrees of Aries, which brings this strong sense of justice, the strong sense of truth to the forefront during this time. We're going to change the way we look at things. Now, here, we're also going to be looking at things with the Six of Cups, things in our past that weren't necessarily just or fair. We can really get hung up on this. So just be mindful about this. With the Five of Swords reverse, things that have tripped us up, things that haven't gone right in our lives, we're going to be like, oh, well, I messed up there. I don't have a chance moving forward this way or that way. And Spirit's like, don't be so harsh on yourself. Our mistakes are what teach us. If we always did everything right and we always had a smooth path, we would never be in the direction that Spirit wants us to be. We'd never learn and grow. And that's why we chose to be incarnated on this earthly plane. So that's going to be a powerful thing for us. Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn till the 20th of January. And this brings a less positive aspect of Capricorn to the forefront. So just be mindful about this. Capricorn is top-down structures. It's very much being focused on the rules. We can see that with the King of Swords energy. We can be very exacting, very precise, very intense during this time. Also, again, I cannot stress this enough. Our self-talk can be toxic to the extreme. So just be mindful about this during this time, that our self-talk needs to be kind. It would be so easy for us to talk to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't speak to a dog. We wouldn't speak to an animal, a hamster, a, snake in the grass, like the way we would talk to ourselves. So just be mindful about this during this time. The new moon is trine Uranus, which is very inspiring. This is very prosperous for us financially. All right. We're really, well, it's not only financially, but it's really looking at the future and being like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Now, we're going to face certain challenges with the Five of Swords reverse that we hadn't had before, or that no, not that we haven't had before, but we've had them before and we hadn't handled them a way that in which that we feel proud, or that we feel like, oh yeah, I really conquered this, did this, achieved this in a way that I feel is great. So we can be rather harsh on ourselves during this time. So just be mindful about this, because we're going to think, well, I already mucked up. I already mucked up. I can't redeem myself. And Spirit's like, that's not it. Why we're here, once again, is to learn and to grow and to see and to explore and to understand. And that's going to be one of the most powerful things that we can really embrace during this time. Mars is trine Jupiter, which this is a very enthusiastic energy. This is a go-getting energy for our future. We're like, yeah, I can do this. We're taking the reins. We're looking at things emotionally. We're a lot more comfortable with our emotions right now. If we get that King of Swords energy under control, we'll be a lot more comfortable with our emotions, with expression of feeling, with expression of ideas. We can be highly creative, highly cultivated during this time. So just be aware of this. We're really looking at the future, and there's a sparkle to things. There's things outlined in gold, which is really, really beautiful for us. Now, Mars is powering Ixion. Now, Ixion is a dwarf planet, and Ixion is in Capricorn. And this is asking us, are we on the right path? Right? Are we living by the right rules? And that's going to be a big question. It's not like societal rules. No, it's not. It's not. It's not like saying here, do something, you know, bad or, dangerous or anything like that. But it's saying, are the rules that we're holding ourselves by, are they right for us? Are we being too harsh on ourselves? Are we being too cruel to ourselves? Because that's going to be one of the things that comes out, during this time with the King of Swords reversed. One of the things that comes out is like, that's unacceptable. And if we would say to a little child who was acting that way, that's unacceptable, why are we accepting it from ourselves? So being aware of that energy during this time is going to be a very big thing. Mercury is conjunct the galactic center. This is huge. Okay. So Mercury is the messenger and the mind, right? Conjunct the galactic center is aligning us with the cosmic mind. We are getting information in from the cosmic center of the universe that is profound, that is deep, that is life-changing. Okay. It's going to have us seeing things really differently than we have before. This is also a time where we feel a little bit out of balance, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, because astrologically speaking, it is a time, floodgates open, things are intense, things are powerful here. But we have to know. We have to know that information is coming in. And we're going to be looking at things, and it's going to make us look at the past and be like, well, I shouldn't have done that. What is the saying? A saint I ain't? Embrace that. You're not here to be perfect. And even the saints, if you read about them, it's like, well, I don't know if that was a great thing you did right there. So here, I know controversial, but here, it's like, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You don't have to martyr yourself all the time. You don't have to take on all this chaos and bury yourself down into it. The past, it's done. You cannot revisit it. You cannot change it. You can only move forward from it. And that's a very powerful thing during this time, to move forward from the past and not try to recreate it or make it something that it wasn't, or replicate it in a way that it will never be again. It's moving forward from the past that's going to be highly powerful here. And it's crowning us. It's going to want to pull us back. It's going to want to say, oh, well, remember this mistake, or remember this way, or, it's not quite as good as it was once upon a time. That's fine. That's fine. Every day has its season, right? Every day has its course of being. We're going to be seeing this during this time. The new moon is squared the North Lunar Node, and this is the collective soul. So we're really looking at growth towards our collective future. And that's going to be for everyone. We're putting down a lot of the swords that we fought with, a lot of the things that we thought were desperately important. And we're going to be sitting there and saying, no, it's not. Because 2024 is also about a simplifying of our joy, a simplifying of our soul. We're going to be seeing this a lot, that we're looking at things and being like, I don't know if I want to be dragged into this, or I don't know if I want to be consumed by this. So being aware of that is going to be a very powerful thing. Saturn is sextile Jupiter, which is very positive energy for our good finances, for business building, to see ourselves move forward. Again, emotionally, we really have things in hand. We're looking at things, we're reining things in, we're looking at things very openly and honestly with ourselves. Now, here's where things get interesting. The dwarf planet Gungkung is conjunct Saturn, all right? And this alignment can bring overwhelming constriction. We can just feel overwhelmingly restrained, constrained in one way or another. So being aware of this is going to be super important because Leo, definitely you're one of the signs that does not like to be constrained in any way. It's not like, oh, let me study this box. It's like, let me break this cage, burn it to the ground so I will never, ever, 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 ever be restrained again. And that's going to be very important here to know. So this restriction, this overwhelming sense of constriction that's coming in, like I just can't move the way that I want to, is not only coming into our daily lives, but it's also coming into our lives psychically and emotionally. So be aware of this energy during this time, that it's going to be like, well, I can't embrace my intuitiveness, right? I feel overwhelmed by it, or I have to ignore it altogether. If you want to go deeper into the astrology of everything, check out Pam Gregory's channel here on YouTube. She's absolutely brilliant. So just be mindful of Gungkung. Gungkung is linked to flooding. So there can also be flooding during this time. So we can see it on the world stage, but we can also see it in ourselves. We're flooded by certain emotions. Like, why is everything so intense? That's why the Chariot coming in, us having a rein on our emotion, is so important. But the King of Swords, with our mind being so intense, so needing to be structured, but also fighting against that structure, is going to be something we need to see, we need to embrace, and we need to be open and honest with ourselves about, right? Not being so hypercritical is going to be a really big thing. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, here we go. Here. And then our bonus card. So our bonus card is looking at the bigger picture, and that's going to be really important for us. We can get caught up in the finer details of things, or we can get caught up in the way that we think it should be. But also, like the exacting manner, it's not perfect, right? Every single hair has to be perfect. And Spirit's like, no, look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture during this time, because we don't need to be distracting ourselves. We don't need to be overwhelming ourselves. We have hunger coming into play, but we also have surrender to the divine. Now, surrender to the divine is reverse. So the question here is, what are we hungering for that we feel we found in the past that hasn't been brought to the present? And we're going to think, okay, I can fix this, because we're a fixer sign. I mean, seriously, Leo, we're like, I can fix it. Let's hot glue this all together. We can absolutely get this done, right? Here, we're hungering for something that was in the past. What Spirit is saying, past is done. Let us move in the present and create something joyous here and now. But we have to let go of the past. Surrendering to the divine is going to be difficult, but it's going to be really important. We have peace and we have a new start is coming. So part of our peace during this time, as we look at the Five of Swords, as we look at a battle that we haven't, that we don't want to fight again, or that we haven't fully resolved within ourselves, we need to embrace peace. Reverse is a new start is coming. So we're going to be thinking, I can't do this, right? I don't get this new start. But here we need to be mindful of the rebirth, that we're fighting the rebirth. We're fighting this transformation. With the King of Swords reversed, we have focus coming into play. I love the butterfly over her third eye. There's a sense of transformation in the way that we see things, in the way that we're connecting with the world. And it says here, you and your loved ones are safe. All right, that's reversed. You don't feel right now that everything is safe and settled. You don't feel like everybody's cozy, tucked up in bed type of deal. But that's because we're overthinking. We're being hypercritical. We're being hyper exacting. We're being just a little bit too much. You can be too smart, right? Have you ever talked to those people who are just so smart that they don't know how to interact with people, or they don't know how to fully feel or connect? here we can be that way. We can be so much in our own heads because we don't trust our hearts, because our hearts have been hurt before. So just realizing that our defense mechanism during this time is going to be like build up a wall of logic, build up a wall of kind of biting truths. And we'll say, well, I just say it like I see it. And that's fine. That's fine. We all know people like that. I just say it as I see it. But it's not kind and it's not polite. We can be a little bit more gracious, and that's going to be really important during this time. Focusing on opening our third eye, focusing on deeper seeing, deeper knowledge, that's going to be a really driving force for us during this time. And it's going to let us feel more like, okay, now things are safe, right? Now things are settled, and now things are moving forward. We need to be patient as we rein in our emotions, as we're looking at everything, but also as we're moving forward with power and authority. Remember, a chariot in ancient times was only used by kings. It was only used by the best of the best. King Tut, one of the ways they think he died was by falling off the back of a chariot. I don't know if that's still the way they think, but I remember that when I was younger, and I thought, wow, that I never thought of chariots being something so dangerous, but they were. So here we need to be patient. We need to be patient with how we're reining things in, how we're moving forward, how we're going after what we want, how we're looking at everything. Meditate and contemplate. Connect with your thoughts. Connecting with your thoughts is going to be a big thing. Also connecting with your emotions. We're a fire sign energy. We have water sign energy coming in with the chariot, and also with the new moon in Pisces. We have air sign energy coming in. The water sign energies and the air sign energies are emotions, right? Our thoughts based off of our emotions. It can also be based off of fact, but how we interpret the facts that we see have an emotion base to them. So here, meditating and contemplating, being patient with ourselves as we see the portal, moving us forward, as we see a new path opening up to us that maybe we didn't think we would ever be taking. Conclusions are within reach. They are. Now, it's interesting here with the Five of Cups, it's like change your mind, change your life. Creation is reversed. We're having difficulty creating. So during this time, if you can take 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes a week to just do something that you thoroughly enjoy, that's a creative endeavor. I would suggest sketching because that can be instantaneously creative, even if it's just drawing a circle, but doing something that gets you out of your head and into your hands, like into the act of creating, of crafting, of moving things forward. That's going to be a big deal during this time, to really have yourself feeling something and connecting with it. I don't know why crafting with your hands is so important, but it is. So if you like to do any type of crafty things, whether it's knitting or wood carving or whatever it is, or anything in between, here's a fantastic time to embrace that, because it's going to help you meditate, and it's going to help you really embrace that creative part of yourself that has kind of gone dormant for a little bit. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Here we have centered. We need to be centered. We need to center ourselves. We need to find our focus, our center, our harmony. And that's going to be a really big thing for us during this time, to be centered. And also to know when we're getting stressed, when we're feeling overwhelmed, it's like, am I centered? Am I harmonizing with myself? Am I moving in the right direction? Type of deal. It brings us to our subconscious chakra message, which is flexible. Now, flexibility is the sacral chakra, and it's being flexible. It's being flexible with our emotions. It's being flexible with our ideas. It's having there's a level of rigidity to us, especially some people always have it. Okay, I was going to say especially as we get older, but that's not true. There are some people who have a natural flexibility to them, and I don't mean physically. I mean mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And there are other people who are always rigid. So here, it's letting that energy move through our bodies and letting us be flexible within it, letting us be calmed or centered, or it's finding a balance within not being fully, I don't want to say fully anchored, but it's not being fully anchored. It's being able to kind of go with the flow with things. It's like a willow tree, right? A willow tree is very flexible, but what happens for that willow tree, what the willow tree gives up in being flexible, is that it loses a ton of its branches when it's windy outside, and also the roots aren't as deep as you would like them to be. So being aware of this during this time, that flexibility also comes with its cost. So having that, it's like being like a pine tree, having that flexibility, but also having the deep roots. That's going to be very important. So just remember this during this time. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Pentacles reversed. Be very mindful to, first of all, be a student of your money. You can very easily be kind of like taken in by people who are very enthusiastic, but don't have much backing to their enthusiasm. So be aware of this. And that can also be us during this time, right? We can be super enthusiastic about things, but not have much backing to how we're going to move forward. And sometimes that's great. Sometimes you need that bit of naivety to move forward. And sometimes that isn't as great as it needs to be. But there's also the sense of like childlike spending, which means, money grows on trees. I always have it. You don't have to work for it. Just keep going. And I know that's a very, kind of like privileged way of looking at money, but there's just a sense here of it will there's just somebody here being reckless. So just be mindful about this during this time. Our subconscious tarot message is justice reversed. Now this is Libra energy. So you can be having difficulty with the Libra, but this is also understanding that, some things in life, they just aren't fair. You might be dealing with the judicial system in one way or another and looking at things and being like, how is this fair? How is this fair? How is this right? So just being aware of that, or looking at things and saying, okay, some things just aren't just. Like some things just, there isn't that real rhyme or reason that we would like with it. So just being aware of that. And some things in life, you look at things that happen in your life to people and you're like, it's not fair. It's not just. And then Spirit says, well, what made you think it was ever going to be? You were here to learn. And sometimes that's hard because you'd like to have a reason for things. Sometimes there just isn't one. Our subconscious Luna message. Now, it's interesting because this new moon is going to be a little bit difficult for us because we do have the new moon reversed here. And then we have the full moon in Leo shining through. So we do have us shining through. And it says, don't let pride get in your way. During this time, as we look at new beginnings and as we're fighting new beginnings, don't let pride get in the way. Because that's going to stop you from the new beginning, from the way that you want to move forward, from what you're going after. So just be aware of this during this time. Okay. All right, Leo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. Know that this meditation and healing will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.